Hello and welcome back to the podcast, and welcome to the official last episode of season 3. We are so excited to be doing this episode, answering some questions that you guys have had throughout this season, because so much has happened, and I feel like we haven't really even thought about it ourselves of how much has happened in this last few months of doing this season. Also, in the Patreon bonus content for this episode, we are going to be doing the baby related questions that you guys have. We haven't really talked about some of this stuff before. What I'm looking forward to the most, what Brittany wants to be called, morning sickness cravings, baby shower, just a bunch of baby questions. That's all going to be in the Patreon bonus content this week. The link is in the description if you want to join that to see that before the season ends. And before the next time you officially see me, I will be,
oh my gosh,
officially with baby. I will be officially a mom.
Baby will be here.
So that will be so exciting when we come back.
It's wild to think about.
I know. Be a totally different human.
No, it's going to be like last time we went away. A million things are going to happen. We're going to have a lot of exciting news.
A lot of exciting stuff to come back for season 4. But let's get into some of your guys' questions that you had from this season, starting with your favorite moments from this season, somebody said. And mine definitely, off the top of my head, although we had a lot of good episodes.
We did.
And especially, you guys know, spooky season always really gets
a special place in our heart.
But I think my favorite episode was when Evan came on and we did the gender reveal.
That's a really good one.
For Baby M.
For me, I think it was when we went to the Whitney and we explored and we saw some things.
And that was also in the Patreon bonus content. So if you want to see that, when you join this week, you will see that episode, because we did a whole vlog. The whole spooky season, though, I really enjoyed doing, because we did things a little bit different this year.
We did a lot.
We did like whole episodes just talking about some spooky
really enjoyed
topics.
It was a nice change of pace.
Little research stuff this year. So if you guys liked that, let us know for next season. Also, what we are looking forward to for the summer. And specifically, I said on this one, obviously, I will have a baby, but I just really, I just picture, putting sunglasses on the baby. And that's really just what I'm looking forward to.
I think that's the most precious thing. This summer, I'm looking forward to hopefully being engaged pre-summer.
Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
All of the things. If I haven't already spoken about that enough on this podcast, that is what I would like. But for summer-related activities, I'm so excited for the baby to be here.
It's gonna be so fun.
A dream of mine is and I know this isn't for a couple of years, but we joke about it a lot. Is I'm excited for the day that the baby water skis and
she keeps wishing these activities on my unborn son. And I'm I don't know if I'm fully mentally prepared for those activities to take place, but she's really looking forward to some of them.
I am.
Which it is a summer activity, so that is fair.
It's allowed.
In a few summers. Maybe 5, 6, 7.
And maybe even then we start with tubing and then we work our way
right.
up.
There's got to be levels. So I think mine's a pretty fair start.
Yes,
putting sunglasses on.
And then maybe we all go on walks together.
Right.
That'll be nice. I think it's going to be a good summer.
Wholesome, fun summer activities. Another question you guys had is, what's next for the podcast? I don't know. I said a break because I'm thinking short term right now. My brain does not have the capacity to think as long term at the very moment. So we'll just be taking a break and coming back and doing our thing all over again. We are planning to come back around our usual time. We're still planning to do the same kind of length of break that we normally do before we come back for season 4. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, right now that's all we have planned.
We do well with a summer break. It works out for a plethora of reasons. For some reason, the last 2 years, it's really lined up with life events very well.
Yeah, wedding for last year.
Yes, a baby this year. Yeah. For me, summer's my busiest season at work. So, when I'm working, late nights doing that's instead of doing late nights with the podcast. So, it all balances out.
Yeah, but that's our plan for now. No solid, plans. And when we come back, we'll have, like we said, lots of stuff to talk about and catch up on. So we're excited for that. someone asked what our dream podcast guest would be. The baby.
The baby is
Dream podcast guest.
I can't wait to meet him.
It's so weird to say that and think about that. And I think I even can't wrap my head around it. Like, I have to meet this human that I've created. Like,
yes.
What's he gonna look like?
What's his personality gonna be? What are his favorite things gonna be?
It's so weird.
His favorite color, like, we don't know yet.
It's really strange to think about. But super exciting. So yeah, that's, I think, both of our dream podcast guests.
Yes.
And then someone also asked our favorite guest so far. And I feel like this season we didn't really, besides like Evan, we didn't have
Evan's
guests.
The only person that came on.
We really didn't have guests this season,
which
you guys,
wild.
Which is so.
Season 2 was packed with guests. Season 1 sprinkled throughout. Season 3 no guests.
It's balanced.
Except Wolf made an appearance
on the bonus
content.
Except he wasn't even physically in view.
No, he just like walked.
He just like came in, and we were so happy because typically the dogs don't. I mean, Lottie has come on one other time.
Yeah.
But he's like tends to stay away. He's like scared of the cameras and the lights, which
he is. He's not about it.
I feel you, Wolf. So he normally doesn't make an appearance. He did come in for the Patreon bonus content.
And we couldn't even catch. I was like trying to move the
we
camera.
literally sprinted up to like show that he was in here.
Like, he's here.
And he
That's probably why he ran away so quick. We were acting like paparazzi. So bad.
Poor guy. But also somebody asked for a Wolf update, which by the way, he's all right. He's still taking his they prescribed him gabapentin, which I think it's also a human drug sometimes.
Perfect.
But so he was on like 2 and we're slowly weaning him down, and he seems to be doing all right so far with getting weaned down a little bit. So hopefully his anxiety subsides. A lot of people thought it was because of the baby, that maybe that's why he was being anxious.
That was the majority of comments.
So cannot confirm or deny. I have no idea. I can't communicate with him, unfortunately, and we did not go the psychic route. But he seems to be doing all right. Somebody did message me, which I appreciate everybody who was giving their input. Somebody messaged me saying like there's some syndrome called like werewolf syndrome that dogs were getting in Europe from their food. And
his name is Wolf.
I know.
That's why I thought you put werewolf syndrome in our notes.
Oh, no. It's like a real full thing.
No way.
But when I looked into it, it was like these specific chewy things, and our dogs don't eat like chewy things.
They don't
like
get
that.
treats.
You make it sound so terrible.
No.
Our dogs are territorial over food and toys. So they don't get anything special and they have to eat like separately, and it's a whole process. It's a whole thing. We love our dogs. We cater to them very much so, but unfortunately
they are basically live human beings.
Right. And we've been getting a lot of practice with them for the baby, and we keep joking because they also have been waking us up in the middle of the night more often than they ever have in their entire lives.
Good practice.
And they're like, I'm like, I swear they're testing us to be like,
they said,
you're going to have to
ready.
do this soon. So yeah, that's Wolf's update. Somebody also asked our favorite influencers to follow on Instagram, which this is in theory a really good question.
This is.
I don't have a great answer. I said Brit.Edney, which is our lovely co-host here's Instagram.
Hello, everyone. And I would say mine is Haley Jade.
Wow.
Or Haley Jade Home.
We are so
that's I mean,
insightful.
I think that like your favorite influencer, they're probably gonna be like one of your first bubbles on the stories, you know, with the algorithm. And I feel like yours are usually like the first like couple of mine. You know, when you put a story
I
on
fear
Instagram?
that they would be regardless if I like. I think just because we're friends probably and we communicate back and forth a lot.
That
it would probably
but
be
like
there.
I thought it was a sign that like you're my favorite influencer.
Oh, okay, no, for sure.
Right.
Then vice versa as well.
Yes.
Yeah. I really don't know. Like I would have to go through and think about this. I don't know.
I feel like a couple years ago, I feel like I had like top influencers where I'm like, I was obsessed with like everything about them, like would buy like half their links of like whatever they recommended.
Well, damn.
Well,
Was
I
it me?
did. You were one of them.
Yeah.
But I feel like I was like very into like following like specific influencers. And now I feel like with TikTok, it's less about like specific influencers and more so
Like topics.
yeah.
Yeah, I think Instagram's also just so like not the same as it was now that like I don't even know who I'm following. I don't even remember because half the time when I scroll through my feed, it's random accounts and like random people. So I couldn't even tell you who I'm following right now.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of even like
It's a lot of ads too now.
TikTok creators that I follow that I love. And I can think of their faces, but I can't think of their handles.
Yeah. So I mean, we don't have great answers for that question, guys. Sorry about that, but it's Instagram is tough now.
Mm-hmm.
We're each other's favorite.
Yes, and I think that that's all you could ask for.
Let's take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's episode, Shopify. Starting a business can feel overwhelming. There's so many unanswered questions on how to take your concept and turn it into reality. After doing so much research for my own business, I found a simple solution and answer to many of my questions. Want to know the secret? Shopify. Shopify's e-commerce platform allows you to host your business and sell your products to your customers with the #1 checkout on the planet. They make it easy to integrate your products, design and run your website, and sell to customers on the web, in store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. That's why I love Shopify. Starting and growing your business doesn't have to be complicated, and Shopify provides you with the necessary tools to help make that happen all in one place. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout just the Little Shady podcast uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/shady, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/shady to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/shady. Thank you to Shopify for sponsoring today's episode. Favorite episode this season, which we already kind of talked about a little bit, but definitely the spooky season episodes, and specifically going to the Whitney and doing that vlog in Detroit for spooky season was my favorite, hands down, to do, to participate in, to record. We had so much fun doing it.
It was the best. And you know what? They do the ghost tours and the ghost dinners, and I think for next year we prioritize getting to one of those because they have like insane wait lists and things like that. But
yes,
we need to be on top of it.
I know, we almost did. We tried to get in for one of the dinners.
And I put us on a wait list for, I want to say they were doing another dinner in like back in December we were on a wait list for. So eventually we're going to find our way off that wait list and we are going to have a meal or go on a tour officially of the build. Because when we were there, like, we just kind of popped in and asked if we could walk around.
No, and it worked out. But, like, you guys have to, if you haven't seen the vlog and you joined the Patreon this week, you have to go back and watch it. Because I'm telling you, it was also just, like, we got so lucky with the timing of things. There was a wedding going on that day. Like, there was a lot going on. And, no. But if you watch the vlog, you'll understand. And it was a fun episode. And we enjoyed it. Which kind of leads to our next topic, which is our favorite Shady story, which besides some of these Valentine's ones from last week,
those were some of the top Shady. I don't know, it was because like they really hit home for me.
With your Valentine's experiences.
Yes, some did feel like, wow, that happened to me once. Wow. I hated when Valentine's Day sucked. Valentine's Day is one of my favorite holidays, but they were good stories.
They were good. And there was like 3, I think, that took such crazy turns
that you just did not expect.
Yes.
And we've read a lot of Shady stories, and I feel like typically we can kind of get an idea of where they're going. These, jaws on the floor.
Specifically. But yeah, also anything from spooky season, which we had a whole episode this season of just spooky stories.
Loved it.
So that would be probably our favorite Shady stories. Plans for the podcast break in both of our lives. Well, have a baby. We have a couple weddings too
We do.
in this
summer.
summer.
This summer. We do have weddings.
Which will be super fun to go to.
Yeah, I have a bachelorette party. I
You've got a lot.
Yeah, some weddings. I have what else do I have going on? I don't know. We have plans. We have
we're gonna do fun
things
stuff
that we do. We're gonna.
You know what? It'll be nice to have a break for real, but we still have just regular life responsibilities.
Life responsibilities are in an all-time capacity at the moment.
Correct. Currently pretty busy.
So it doesn't feel like a break right now.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe once we get into like actual summer, like June, July, we'll feel a little bit more like, ooh, we have a little bit more time on our hands these days.
Agree. Yeah, we haven't gotten so far as to like actually plan anything fun, but I do want to, and we will eventually.
We'll do some fun things.
It will be fun. I'll have a 1-year wedding anniversary.
Oh my gosh, you will.
I know.
What are you going to do? We don't even know.
We don't even know.
Who's to say?
Who's to say? Another question we got asked was, do we ever get recognized in public?
Do we?
And you know what's funny? Yes, we've talked about a couple of our experiences throughout like the past. I think we haven't brought like nothing has happened in a while for us to like tell a story about. But it is funny because I feel like the common theme from any time we ever do get recognized is we're always like eating.
1,000%.
Yeah, or like we're always like out to dinner.
Eating. I feel like when I'm with you, it's never just me and you. It's always like me, you, Evan and Brian are also there.
I agree. Yeah, it definitely does happen. And normally it's like
it's
positive, yeah, like a positive experience. It's just funny because we're always eating, and I always also feel like anytime it happens to me, specifically, like even if I'm not with you, I am always like looking my most haggard. Like I am not ready. I have no makeup, need to shower, and like that's what makes me uncomfortable about the situation sometimes. Not even like the actual situation occurring. I'm just like, these people probably think like you catfish.
No,
not literally, but like it's just funny because I mean, not that anyone coming up to us isn't like in full glam or something. We're all around.
We're all just being human.
Around just being human. But it's just funny because I'm always like, oh my gosh, and then like that's what I get like flustered about in the moment. I'm like, oh no, this is what again. I look like. Especially like now, like
I mean, you are growing.
I am waddling around and just waddling around town. So, but yeah, so sometimes it does happen, but usually it's in a state where we are eating food.
Actually, there was only one time in history, I think, where I wasn't with you and somebody knew me from the podcast. May have happened twice, but the one time I remember was at the Italian festival with Brian, and this girl stopped me and she was working, and she was the sweetest thing ever, and I was like, me? You know me in the podcast?
Oh my gosh, I love it.
It was cute.
I love that. But yeah, we love it. Just if we look bad, don't
judge us.
Judge us. When will next season return? We kind of already answered this one. End of summer, per usual. That's the tentative plan. Yeah. We tentatively plan to stay within what we normally do. Somebody also asked for fun things to do in Detroit with kids.
Good question.
During the summer. They said during the summer, but also just in general. Good question. These are things we're going to have to know soon as well.
We kind of panicked for a second. We were like, wait, what do you do with a kid in Detroit in the summer?
I know. But I feel like there are a lot of things. I mean, you can do all the regular things. Go to, like, try different restaurants, whatever. I mean, if your kid doesn't want to sit at a restaurant, though, there's the zoo. There's Campus Martius Park. Maybe a Tigers game if they're at a good age for that. And then also Eastern Market. I mean, you could just kind of go walk around depending on their age, but I also feel like they might do kids activities sometimes.
I feel like they've got to. And I think even in Campus Martius Park, I want to say they do activations throughout the summer that are sometimes geared towards families, kids, that sort of thing. So there's definitely a lot going on.
This is a
downtown.
wild thing to say too, but I feel like I randomly, like, I never go on Facebook, but it does exist, and sometimes they'll have events, I know, that people like
Yep.
reshare for kids and stuff.
Oh, totally.
So wherever you are, like, you can Google like the area, or you can type in the area and it will give you like events and stuff.
Not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea.
The dogs are being dogs right now, which is fun.
What a
Wild time for them to act like dogs. They don't typically, sometimes, like I said, they're human and they act human.
It's so, we just had this conversation earlier, like sometimes, especially like Lottie, she is so sweet and
I don't know what
mature
they're up to.
that I forget she's like a dog and not a human child. And so when she does act like a dog, sometimes I'm like, wait, what are you doing?
Why are you acting like
Why are
that?
you acting
Because
this way?
it does feel out of character for her sometimes.
But then I have to remind myself,
that
like,
she
is in fact a dog.
Mhm.
Anyways, okay, last and final question that we were asked is, will either of you start a YouTube channel? We have talked about in the past, I feel like both of us being like, oh, like maybe we'll start, I don't know. Because we do have fun when we do the vlog
We
thing.
do, like, we don't typically do a full-on vlog for the bonus contents, but in the off chance we do,
It's always so fun.
we have a good time. We're like, oh, we loved that. Why don't we do that more often? And then we never do.
So, not necessarily maybe a YouTube channel, but maybe we'll next season be doing more vlogging for the Patreon bonus content. Definitely do stuff like we did this last season, which we did like making the gingerbread houses and talking about birthday and Christmas plans, and we did the Whitney vlog. So we'll definitely be doing more of that on the Patreon bonus content. But we also, while we're gone, are going to have something coming out special on YouTube. So we will be posting about that. So although we have a break from the podcast,
we're not really
it's
taking
not
a break.
necessarily a break from content altogether. You guys will be getting something from us. So look out for that.
I love that. I've always wanted to be a part of something where it's like we're working on something super special,
Which
we're
we
not
have
talking
been.
about it yet.
Which we have been. So yeah,
It's
stay
really
tuned for
cool.
that. It's super exciting. But yeah, if you guys want to join us over on the Patreon bonus content, we're going to continue some of these questions. But if not, we are so happy and thankful for another great season of the podcast. And we will see you guys in the next season.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.